What's up, brand builders? Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn 10 ways that you can win new freelance clients so you can start building out your client base and, more importantly, generating more revenue. Now, one of the number one questions I get asked is, how do you get new clients? And it's no surprise either. It's one of the first hurdles for every freelancer to get new clients in the door, because without clients, there's no revenue. And there's also the added downward pressure of price as well, because you have marketplaces like Fiverr and Upwork, and you've got overseas designers selling their services really, really cheaply. So, you do have clients who have that expectation and prospects who have that expectation as well. But I'm going to give you 10 ways that you can use and bring into your business so you can convince the clients to go with you, and will enable you to charge premium prices as well. Number one, speak about their business. Now, it might be common ground for your prospects to jump into conversations about logos, about color palettes and typography, and you might also follow that lead as well, or that's the conversation that you might jump into. But it doesn't really help you when it comes to charging premium prices, because if you're just going to talk about creative, if you're just going to talk about design, then you're going to be compared to other designers no matter where they are, no matter what they're charging. So speak about their business, start the conversation off on the right tone, and keep the initial conversation about their business, and don't move on to creative until later. If you speak about their business and speak about their business problems, they'll see you in a different light. Number two, ask the right questions. Now, there's an old adage, whoever asks the most questions wins, because if you're asking questions, you're controlling the conversation. So make sure that you ask plenty of questions about their business, and they're going to be happy to answer those questions as well. If they're talking about themselves, if they're talking about their business and their prospects, well, then they're going to be happy with that conversation. So make sure that you have the right questions lined up and keep those questions coming. Number three, listen actively. Now, this goes back to the previous point about asking questions, and it is widely understood by psychiatrists about different personalities, and when we're attracted to different people based on how they behave, and people who ask questions tend to be more attractive to those who just speak about themselves. And this is a trap that most designers fall into. When they jump on the phone with their clients, they start talking about their projects that they've done, the experience they have, the styles they like, and they don't listen to their clients. They don't ask their clients enough questions, and they certainly don't sit there and listen to the answers that they have to give. So make sure you actively listen to what your clients are saying after you've asked those questions, and look for nuggets of gold, look for clues and insights that you might be able to use later on in your conversations. Number four, become a detective. Now, when your prospect comes to you, they'll probably have in their mind an idea of what they need, and they'll be expecting that outcome from this conversation. But the more you speak to them about their business, the more you ask them about their business, and the more you actively listen, the more ammunition you'll have to be able to identify what the real problem is. Now, they might be coming to you for a brand and a logo, or they might be coming to you because they're not getting enough website traffic, or they believe that their conversions aren't right. But if you listen to what they say, and if you listen to the answers they give, you'll be able to find the real reasons and the real problems behind their business. Now, as I said, you really need to dig deep into the questions about their business and the experience that they've had up until this point. And if they're coming to you for the very first time for a new brand, then your conversations here are going to be about their position or about their audience, to really find out what they already know, what they don't know, and what they need from the brand that they're expecting you to develop for them. Number five, educate your client. Now, logo designers and brand designers traditionally, certainly in my experience anyway, they don't tend to like it if their client or their prospect doesn't really have a good grasp of what branding is. They might think it's a logo. They might misunderstood the true value of branding. But if your prospect is in this position, and if that's what they're displaying, then that is the perfect position that they should be in for you to swoop in and show your value. So if you jump in there and educate your client and kind of bring back the real idea of what branding is, and educate them on the real idea of what branding is, then they're going to walk away with a huge amount of value. They're going to walk away with a huge amount of clarity, and you're going to have earned a huge amount of trust. So embrace it. If your client doesn't understand branding, embrace the idea that this is now part of your role. Certainly as a brand strategist, part of your role is to educate your client on what real brand strategy is and the different elements involved in strategic branding. And once they have that knowledge, once they're armed with that knowledge, and if they've gotten that knowledge from you, then they're going to trust you and they're going to have their own epiphany that they need you to work on their brand. Number 6, get them excited. Now, your prospect didn't have the idea of a business and didn't come up with this idea to go into the market and fail. They don't picture themselves going into the market and failing. They picture themselves succeeding, and they believe that they can succeed with this business. And you really need to get them excited about that. They might have an idea of where this business could go, but if you ask the right questions at the right time in the right way, then you'll get them to open up about what their real vision for the business is. And they might not have done this before. They might not have really taken the time. They might not have been asked these specific questions, but if you ask these questions in the right way, then they'll open up like a flower and they'll really give you their vision of what this business could be like, and that will open up the idea of what their life is going to be like on the back of that. And as I said, sometimes your prospect has never gone through this process before, but if you encourage that, if you encourage them to open up about where this business could go, it can get them really excited. Number 7, show enthusiasm. Now, of course, if they're giving you this idea of a business and this vision for the future and it's completely unrealistic and you don't see real potential in the business that they're talking about, well then, you should be honest with them. I'm not talking here about fake enthusiasm, but if you do see a business behind their idea and you do see that you can help them to build this brand that they need to help their business succeed, well then show that enthusiasm, get behind their idea of this vision for the future, and that will really encourage them. Number 8, convey value. Now, if you are offering a brand strategy as a solution to this prospect, well then you need to go down the road of explaining the value of this strategy. So you need to talk to them about positioning and why they need to position their brand effectively. Likewise, you need to talk to them about their audience and why they need to understand them on an intimate level and the emotions that they're going through, the journey that they're on. And then, of course, why they need an effective communication strategy, why they need a storytelling framework, and what good stories are going to do for their brand and the connection they have with their audience. So if you're able to convey that value, well then they'll be able to justify why they need a brand strategy as opposed to just going for a logo. Number 9, display conviction. Now, on the whole, we tend to be more attracted to people who display confidence. Now, certainly that's true when it comes to things that we need or situations that we're in. If we need an element of safety, if we need to feel secure or feel convinced that the person that we're dealing with is confident in where they're going and can lead us to where we want to go, well then we're going to be a lot more attracted to somebody like that than somebody who is fumbling their words, is not really confident about what they're saying, they're not really clear in their communication. So you really need to display that conviction and show that confidence in what you're talking about and give that aura that you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, and you know that you can help your client. And number 10, be prepared to walk away. Now, we have this primitive instinct as people that if something is running towards us, we run away from it. If something is running away from us, we run towards it, and that's a survival instinct that we have. And that plays out with our client relationships. If you're going to run towards them and show this neediness, their instinct is going to be to run away from you. So show them that you are prepared to walk away if things aren't working out, if they're trying to press you on price, if they're trying to get more for less, if they're trying to get more for their smaller budget, then show them that you're prepared to walk away. You have your systems in place. Yes, you want their business, but you don't need their business. And if you show that preparedness to walk away, sometimes it has the opposite effect. Now, to implement a lot of these tips and techniques will take a little bit of a psychological shift, but you really need to do that. And if you do want to push into strategy and start offering those higher ticket products and those higher ticket services, well, then you need to break free from the cheaper clients that you were previously dealing with. Now, if you are prepared to do that, if you do want to make that shift, well then the types of clients that were coming to you previously are a great place to start with these processes, because again, you have that abundance mentality that you're prepared to walk away and you don't need to chase these low budget clients. So test out on them, test out your strategies, test out these techniques, see if you can educate them on what real branding is, see if you can get them excited about their business, see if you can talk to them on a high level about their business and shift their focus and their idea of what value you can bring to their business. And as I said, this is where you can cut your teeth and improve your conversations that you have and really move towards a place where you're a lot more confident to have these conversations with your prospects. And you'll see over time, more and more will start to warm to you, and it won't take you long before you're able to deliver strategies for higher ticket prices. But I'd love to hear from you about your experiences with your clients and trying to transition into a more strategic role, and trying to sell the idea of brand strategy and trying to sell strategies to your clients. Do you have these types of clients that really don't understand branding? They don't understand the value of brand strategy, and it's difficult to really convey that to them, to convey that value. Do you have those types of clients pushing back on price and telling you that they can go and get this done cheaper on Fiverr or Upwork? I'd love to know your experiences in the comments below. If you've got any specific challenges in relation to talking to your clients about strategy, then let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. If you like more tips and techniques like this, well then head on over to BrandMasterAcademy.com and sign up for the newsletter. It is free, and I do keep some exclusive content for that list, so get yourself signed up. But again, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Let me know what your experiences are. Let me know the challenges you are having, and I'll do my best to answer all of those questions. Until next time, brand like a master, and I will see you in the next video.